One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of closers make is that they don't collect and close on the call. They just get an agreement and then they just simply leave the call. We always collect on the call, even the payment or a deposit. But the second problem I see is that a lot of closers close deposits, but those deposits never turn into a close. The people never go across the finish line, or even worse, they ask for a refund. This training is all about how to prevent that from happening in the first place. Let's get into it. What do you guys do when people say yes on the call, all to pay, but after the call, but then start suddenly doubting? So here's the thing. If they say yes on the call, I'm closing them on the call. So we have one standard in our team that the close happens in the call, happens on a Zoom scenario. Like there's no such a thing as, oh yeah, we'll send you the invoice and you pay it. No. We actually have a process called the enrollment process, and the enrollment process is executed on Zoom. So yeah, we always collect and close the deal and kind of like enroll the client on a call. Let me know if that answers your questions.
Hey, I do have a question about that.
Sure.
So our price point's pretty high. So a lot of times what I run into is I don't have that $6,000 today. I'll have it in 3 days because that's when I get paid again. So if I can't close them on the call, and sometimes they do ghost at that point, they've said it, we've sent the contract and invoice. How do you handle that? Like when you're following up, trying to find out what happened.
It's 6K, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we do. Okay. Maybe you might not have this in place, which is okay. You can always build this, but this is what we do. When someone says, I don't have 6K right now, what we do is we do the open wallet. The open wallet is a process. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's a process to really understand what's their financial situation, because sometimes we can just work out a payment plan. I don't know if you guys have payment plans.
We do that. And so I took that away from you last week and have been doing it this week. It's been going great. Thank you for that. Well, they get a bigger discount if they pay it in full. So a lot of times that's what they want to do. So our price point's actually $8,000. If they're going to pay us in full, they get $2,000 off. If we do the open wallet, then we do $1,000 discount. So they're paying $7,000.
Okay. So if someone says, hey, I want to get the full discount, I want to be able to be, to be eligible for the paid in full, but I don't have the money right now. I'm going to come up with all the funds in 30 days, right? It's kind of like what you do. One of the easiest things you can do when you have an offer like that, easiest thing in the world, is make them secure the offer right on the spot.
Right. Give a deposit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is what we do. It just doesn't always work out that way. So.
But then that is a lack of, well, that could be logistical, but a lot of times a lack of skills. So we want to make sure it's just logistical. It's not lack of skills, because one of the things you can say is like, yeah, no problem. One of the things that I like to do is I always isolate the objection. So always IDIC, I call it IDIC, identifying, diffusing, isolating, and confirming. So basically, so hold on. How do you mean you want to do it, but right now it's tough? I'm trying to identify what it is. I know it's the money, but I know it's money logistical, money fear. And now they say, I don't have 6K right now, but I will. Now I have identified. I know they don't have the funds. It's money logistical. So now I go diffuse. Diffuse is like, oh, okay, no worries. Like this is not the first time that, someone wants to do this and they don't have the full amount. That's diffusing. No worries. It's okay. It's fine. Then isolate. I guess just so I can understand what's important to you, if you had 6K right now available, what would you do? That's isolating. I'm removing the objection. If this objection wasn't an objection, if this problem wasn't a problem, what would you do? And you can do this IDIC with any objection. If your wife was here and he was 100% on board, what would you do? If you did have the time, what would you do? If we were here talking after the event 30 days later, what would you do? If you weren't feeling that way and you would be feeling fully certain that this is 100% going to work for you, what would you do? Isolate whatever the objection that is that you have identified. And then they're going to tell you, oh, then I would do it. Then I would just sign up. We'll just give you the money. We just sign up right now. The next thing is confirming. But in the middle, the I and the C, if I notice hesitation, I always like to add a why. Okay. Gotcha. So if they say, yeah, I would do it, but they are uncertain, say, why? Why would you do that? Oh, because this is what I'm looking for. I really believe this is for me, blah, blah, blah. But if they're fully certain, there's no need. Yeah, I would do it. Like, it's just the money. Right. Then I'll go confirming. Confirming that is the only objection. So then what I say is like, oh, okay. So help me understand. So what I'm hearing is that you are 100% in with the program, the process and everything. But the only thing that's keeping you from being able to get started is just finding a way to make it work financially. So that is confirming. And I use this exact same language. Okay. So what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're 100% in with the program, the process and everything. But the only thing keeping you from being able to get started is finding a way to make it work financially, making sure you have the time for this, making sure your wife is on board with this, making sure your parent supports you with this, whatever that is, you just throw that in the confirming, making sure that this is going to work for you. That's the only thing. Yeah. Okay. That's something that I always teach people to do. And now I go, okay, so we do have situations like this where, people want to do it, but they don't. So I guess if there was a way in which we could make it work financially, would it help you? Yeah, of course it would. Okay. so first I will really need to understand what's your situation just to see if there's anything I can do. And if there are some options, I'll walk you through it. If not, at least we'll build a game plan for the near future so that you can eventually do this. Okay, let's do it. Do the open wallet. And now let's say they say, no, right now I have like $500. That's all I have. I'm going to get a bonus in December. And that's why I want to do it in December, because I get a huge bonus. But right now, all I have is $500. Now I know they have $500.
Right.
So then I go, cool. So what we can do, and you can just, if you're in a promotion, this is very easy. So what we can do is we can just make sure that this is going to happen. What we can do is we can put a brick. We can start walking that path and make sure this is already happening. And we can start building momentum towards December. So that way, when you join December, you already have a lot of momentum accumulated. Would that work for you? Would that help you? Would that work for you? No. Say, would that help you? Because like what I want to frame in their head is like, hey, don't allow finances to get in the way. Let's just get started with some progress so that you build momentum. And when you're ready to join, then guess what? Then you are already in motion. Then you don't have to build momentum from zero. And then I ask, would that help you? Would that put you in a more powerful position to, crush it in December? Who's going to say no to that?
Right.
Okay. And if they say no, there's something there, but
there's something else there. Right.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's just say they say, yeah, then what I like to do is like, okay, so what we can do is you put $500 down and I give you access. And again, you might not have this system, but what I like to do is like, and I give you access to some of the material so that you can start getting into property management. So by the time December comes, you are already in motion. So that's how I frame my deposits. I don't say deposit to lock the spot. What I like to do is I already want to put them in their head in motion. So it's already happening. It's already happening. It's just a matter of time. And then I say, would that help you? And say, oh yeah, that would be amazing. What would that entail? Yeah, you put something down and give you access to one of our kickoff trainings. And by the way, the kickoff training is just like a series of call recordings that we've put together in a Google document. And that way they have this sense of progress. The other option is just do the deposit thing. That's also good. If you're in a promo, it's like, well, yeah, no worries. So what we can do is you can put down a deposit that locks the discount. So therefore the price increase is not going to affect you in December. And also what I can do is I can send you some extra resources and give you some homework. So we have an action plan towards you joining in December, something like that.
What I usually do to try to get the deposit out of them is we cap our program at 30. So I usually try to, reiterate that if you're going to wait 2 weeks, I can't guarantee that we're going to get you in. We might have to put you on a waiting list. So, if you make the deposit, that's going to hold your seat.
Yeah, that's fine. A lot of times that is going to work. A lot of times it's not going to work because it works for the majority of the times. But when you're dealing with doubt and fear, I think it's better personally. I think
if I'm getting from them doubt and fear, but if I feel like it really is just about the price and that they need a couple of weeks to get
if it's truly logistics, they'll always take it. If it's truly logistics, like I'm doing this, it's happening, they're gonna take the deposit. They're gonna do it. It's math, it's logic.
Right.
But if you see like, I don't know if this is gonna work for me, no scarcity, no urgency of limited spots is going to overcome that uncertainty. It's not gonna work. In those cases, I prefer to frame it as progress in that sense.
Right. Okay. So we give you something for doing this so that you can get a feel.
So it's almost like, hey, I know that this might represent like a big jump for you. Would that be what's going on here? Yeah. So you don't have to do a big jump. Do one step today and one step tomorrow. And I frame it that way. And then it kind of like releases all the pressure from them. If it's fear, if it's uncertainty, this is a big decision for me. I've never done this before. Then I kind of like, I feel that if this is too much for you, that it might put you in a place that almost paralyzes you. I don't think that the best thing you should do right now is to just fully jump on, because it's going to cause too much disruption, right? But also on the same time, I believe that based on what you've told me, how important it is for you to really take care of your daughter, I don't believe that the best thing you should do now is do nothing, because then, nothing changes.
Right.
If there was a way in which you could just do one step at a time, not the full jump, just one step, would that help you? Oh yeah, that would be amazing. What do you mean? That's why I like to frame it that way, because they almost thank you for that.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Pablo.
Yeah, you got it. Good question. All right. That's it for this video. And this might not be for everyone, but if you're there watching this and you're like, I want to have a mentor and get serious about this, you can always check out the link in the description box below. It will take you to a short video. And from there, you can apply for a mentorship program and check out and see if spots are still available. If you do, I'll see you in that video. Take care.